Do you know what I'm saying? And because again, this is what they're being fed. This is what you turn on the TV, you turn on the phone. This is what you see. You don't see people in white coats with test tubes. You don't see doctors and lawyers. You don't see, creatives and educated people made to look cool or appealing or as role model. You don't see that. The closest we get, just on a mass scale, is athletes. Athletes, they look pretty cool. They're in good shape. They're doing something professional. They're very well spoken. They're well educated. They specialize in what they do. That's the closest we get on a mass scale. And second to that is probably singers and actors. But where are the doctors, the lawyers, the police, the whoever, teachers? You don't see that. Professors.
They all need their own Ballon d'Ors and stuff, innit?
Yeah, well.
Teacher of the year. Well, that's what you glamorize is what people reflect, right? If you think about Ballon d'Ors, so the best footballer of the year, or MVPs and all the rest of it, it creates the glamour, which is what easily attracts young people. I want the status of the best. But imagine if that happened for doctors and teachers, like on a glamorous scale. Yeah. Like,
because it happens, but not.
Yeah, exactly. It happens, but it's not like ITV. Yeah. We're showcasing the best.
Yeah. And it should.
It really should, because I think it would change a lot of opinions.
Absolutely.
Because now, out of pride and greed, I want to be the best teacher of the year.
Absolutely. I've got a YouTube channel. Yeah, I'll make my students rap.
Yeah. For real, but that's what you'd want.
Absolutely. And it would be something for people in these professions to aspire to, ourselves, and it would be something for young people to then look to and aspire to.
Because there's reward. Because here's the thing with Olympics, gold medals, Ballon d'Ors, MVPs, the work has an end goal.
Yeah, a very clear and public end goal.
Whereas your work, doctor's work, there is no end. It's just continuous. It's just constant pain. It's just constant.
And the thing is for me, like, a lot of the rewards, and I love my job. I'm very passionate about teaching. I love teaching, and at this stage in my career, I see myself teaching for the rest of my career. That's my hope, at least. I think it's an important job, but I have to say, in all honesty, a lot of the rewards I found in teaching, I found them intrinsically. I know that, right, my reward is knowing that I've done a good job, or I've imparted into that young person's life, or I'm proud of the quality of teaching that I deliver. But it's very intrinsic. When I rock up to work, and I get along well with a lot of my students, but for the most part, kids come in, they'll sit there. Most kids, as I said, that they're not going to give you lots of trouble. They'll chit chat and they'll mess around, but they'll get on with it. The bell rings, they go to their next lesson. And you can be Mr. Ricketts, you can be Mr. Boateng, you can be Mr. Smith, you can be Mrs. Jones, doesn't matter.
Just another teacher.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
But on that, if we do think about a Ballon d'Or for teachers, what's the criteria? Because it's hard, isn't it? If you actually think about it.
It is hard.
What makes a good teacher? Or what's the criteria for the best teacher of the year?
Go to YouTube, look up French with Mr. Ricketts. French with Mr. Ricketts. You'll see the criteria.
The dedication and passion.
It's like anything.
But how do you measure it as well?
Because if we think about Ballon d'Or or MVP, what's the criteria for these things?
It's actually, Ballon d'Or, I know I forgot the split, but it's part players vote. The players vote.
I think I don't know a lot about these things, but I would imagine a lot of the criteria is actually transferable, because it comes to do, it's not just about the end result. You know, this person scored 100 goals, or this teacher taught 100 lessons. No, it's some of it's to do with character. It is to do with commitment, dedication, and perhaps some of the peripheral things that player is bringing to the game. Do you know what I'm saying? Their influence, perhaps, and things like that. I would imagine. As I said, I don't know, so please don't quote me. But I would imagine it's to do with not just their end result, how many goals they scored or how many assists, but it's also to do with their character and some of the stuff on the periphery of what it is to be a football player or a basketball player or whatever it is. So I would imagine if you look at the criteria, a lot of it, you might have to reword it slightly, but a lot of it is actually could be transferable into the various professions, the medical profession, teaching and whatever. Because it's really and truly, it's about people doing things with excellence.
I really want to think about how it would work, because now it's interesting now. Because how would you know it's easier for football and MVPs because everyone's watching the same game?
Yeah.
So it's
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
So now with teachers, we can't film every lesson.
Of course,
because then it's perverse incentives, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you just off the top of my head. I mean, maybe we can call it le stylo d'or.
Wow,
what does that mean? Golden pen.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, so I mean, off the top of my head,
Like, what does Ballon d'Or mean?
Golden ball.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, off the top of my head, you could look at the sort of the final results of that, their cohort, the classes that they taught. That's one thing you could consider. Okay, how many are getting 7s to 9s? How many got whatever? You could look at perhaps any extracurricular involvement they've had. Have they run successful clubs? Have they? I mean, you could look at possibly. Yeah, if it's kind of teacher vote or sort of if they're voted by their colleagues as well and their peers, then each school might nominate certain teachers, and then there could be some kind of governing body that comes in and observes that teacher doing his or her thing. Do you know what I'm saying? And okay, you don't film it, but like Ofsted would come in and observe you teaching. This awarding body could come in and observe the nominees teaching. And they could do that maybe not just maybe for a week.
Yeah.
And all the nominees are observed for a week, and then you'll have each subject or whatever has a certain number of nominees. So you'd have the nominees for language teaching, you'd have the nominees for geography, nominees for English, maths, science. Do you know what I'm saying? But no, I don't think it's too far fetched. It would take work, and obviously people would have to invest.
It'd be really good.
But I think it's a brilliant idea, because we need to make.
I love to take it. I love to do that.
Yeah, we need to make it not just with education. We need to make these other professions more appealing to young people. Like, okay, this might be a bit controversial, but the police, for example, right? Say what you want about the police, they do a hard job. They say what you want, they do a hard job, and as bad as their reputation is, there are good policemen and women, and they deserve to be recognized and acknowledged and even awarded for what they do. Paramedics. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal, the work that they do.
Yeah, and the reward needs to be way more Then a Thursday night, let's clap for a couple minutes.
Please.
Way more.
Way more.
Then let's go out
Doctors,
on our balconies.
nurses.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? The fire brigade.
Undercover heroes. Huh?
Undercover heroes. Because, you know, these are the sectors that enable society to function. So we can all sit at home and watch football. Who's keeping the footballers fit? When the footballer's born, who was there? A doctor. When a footballer was being educated, who was there? A teacher. When a footballer, before his professional career started, was out, got drunk and got paralytic, who was there? A paramedic. When the footballer's house caught fire, who was there? Fire brigade. When the footballer's house got broken into, who was there? Policeman. When the footballer's, I don't know, girlfriend or wife got attacked, who was there? Policeman. Do you know what I'm saying? But yet, we praise the entertainers. And I'm not knocking footballers. They work, and we're just using it as an example.
Yeah.
They do their work, they get paid for the work that they do. That's how it should be. But let's make it a bit more fair and a bit more balanced. Because there are scores of people working every single day. They get no acknowledgement for it. And now you've got, or, you know, the acknowledgement that they get is not in kilter with the work that they do.
And again, it just puts people off.
Puts people off. Like, how many of my students say to me, I could never be a teacher?
Because they know. I don't want me as a student.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They know.
They know.
But then you talk about football. Yeah. All the boys, especially, like, you know, I think there's a few more girls now, but, you know. Boys.
And even the dead ones. Like, you're not even good at football.
You're not even good at football.
You're not even good at basketball. But
You know what I mean?
for the sight of the championship, the trophy, the gold, and then obviously the money, I want to do it.
But the scariest thing is as well, I've had students say to me, they aspire to being a reality TV star. And this is where I'm calling people out, because sorry, I don't believe in it.
A vlogger.
I don't believe in it. I don't. Reality TV, what? Put a camera in your house and film you being, you know, acting a damn fool.
I can't, yeah. I've never.
It's rude.
Yeah, I've never.
It's rude. Because there are people out here doing life-changing and life-saving and amazing work every day.
But the reason why, I mean, I agree, but the reason why I wouldn't be, I'll say do it, is because it's the same with footballers and the conversation between why footballers earn so much. They're only jumping into where the money is.
Of course.
And the money's there because eyes are there.
Of course.
And so the vlogger who's doing it doesn't necessarily care about the people. They just know that that's where the money is.
That's where the money is, yeah. But
so the issues with the masses.
Of course, yeah. It always. Because, again, as we said, you know, you value what you pay for.
Yeah.
You pay for a football ticket. You pay for the subscription to the television service or the Sky service or whatever it is, so you can watch all the games. You pay for that. And obviously it's all residual, and it all gets fed back to the teams and the whoever, I don't know, the infrastructure, but you know what I mean? So they can charge every year, the ticket prices can go up, and then, you know, the wages of the players and the managers can go up. Because the thing is as well, when you look at the public sector, we can't, what's the word I'm looking for? We can't generate profit.
Yeah.
We can't. So compare that to a footballer who or the, you know, the FA, who can generate profit. Again, it's kind of unfair.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that especially the high-end entertainment sector, if you like, I don't even know if that's the right phrase, but the real top end especially, but generally the entertainment industry, that's the word I'm looking for, the entertainment industry and others like it should have to pay some kind of tax back into the public sector.
Okay.
100%. Because, again...
As a way to say, it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be there.
Because that's literally the case. That's literally the case. If it weren't for, again, the doctors, the nurses, the paramedics, the teachers, we wouldn't have footballers. We wouldn't have singers. We wouldn't. Who's there when you're born? It's a doctor. Do you know what I mean? It's not another singer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're sick, it's a nurse. It's not flipping top record producer. They know something has to be done.
They don't think they're private anyway. They get private healthcare.
Yeah, but still.
Pay them.
Still, like, yeah, I get it. But again, they had to get to a point where they could generate enough income so they could pay for private services.
Yeah.
But at the starting point, most people had to access the public services. The vast majority of the population, even the top end entertainers and sports people today, the vast majority of them, or good number of them, at some point had to access the public services. You know what I'm saying? So I think that these industries should be made to pay a tax back into the public sector. They should be. Because then, and I'm not saying it because I'm a teacher. Like, I'm not... Obviously, I've come to understand it now that I am a teacher, but even if I go off and I do something else, because sometimes I got half of mine. I was even telling some of my kids the other day, I was like, I could go somewhere else and get a lot more respect and a lot more money than you lot are giving me. But anyway, that's another story. And they all sat there like, just looking at me like, miserable. But no, so it's not just because I'm a teacher. Like, again, like, if anything, my heart really goes out to nurses, man.
Yeah.
The way they've been treated of late, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And they work so hard. Continuously. And when you get, the thing is, like, with, again, a lot of the public sector jobs, when you get home, you don't just power down and switch off and you never think about your patients or your students or your, you know, your clients or they're always knocking around somewhere. There are times I'm washing up. I'm flipping washing up, thinking about that student that made me laugh or that student that annoyed me or planning my next assessment. You don't switch off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You get up in the morning, it's like, right, when I get in, I got this and this and this and this. When I was a postman, the second I delivered that last letter and I got back to the delivery office and I dropped off the keys for the van, I was done. I didn't have to think about any of the customers. I was done. Do you know what I mean? I could switch off completely from work. But with teaching, and I would imagine, again, for all the other public sector workers, you don't ever fully just completely switch off. You don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're a detective and you've got a case.
Yeah, that's on your mind.
It's on your mind. Do you know what I'm saying? You're a head teacher and your school's about to dip into special measures. When do you switch off?
For real. The food don't even taste the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just...
So, the other end, you're a head teacher and, 10 of your year 11s have just been accepted into Oxbridge. You celebrate with them. You don't just switch off. You're proud of them. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. And again, it's not to knock entertainers. Entertainers, they do their work. And if people are willing to pay, so be it. But these industries, they should be made to pay some kind of tax or some kind of contribution back into public sectors. Like, more so than just paying your average taxes.
Yeah.
there should be a
an
appreciation tax or an appreciation contribution. Even call it something different. Call it what you want. But and I think that would say a lot about our appreciation of the work these people do. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even me, I don't go to the doctor a lot, you know what I mean? I try to eat well and exercise and take care of myself, but, you know, I haven't always appreciated the work that these people do. And even when I was a kid, I was an idiot at school. I was lazy. Yeah. I switched off. I was, I tried my hand at class clowning, and I was an idiot. I made bad decisions, and I did not appreciate my teachers at all. Mm-hmm. But I think if we could, as a society, show that, look, we are going to appreciate our doctors, our nurses, our policemen, our blah, that would feed back into the mentality of the next generations coming up. Yeah, it would naturally. Mm. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm. And I think that would make the teaching and learning experience healthier.
Yeah.
100%.
As long as the money that's been taken is used.
Of course. Like, because look, as a nation, let's think about it, right? If ever you want to watch, especially Premier League, you want to watch a football match, you have to pay, right? Someone has had to pay. If you go down to the local pub, they've paid so they can stream the game, play the game. If you've gone to the match, you've paid for your ticket. If you're online, you know what I mean? Even if you're a damn thief and you found some pirate website, you're paying for the broadband. Yeah? So, however you look at it, you have to pay to consume football. And what's part of the result? As a nation, we love football. Because we're paying for it. There's no way, however you look at it, that we're not paying for football. And we love football, right? As a nation. So why can't we have a similar mindset towards teaching if we're keeping it on topic? If we knew that as a nation, our top entertainers, our top athletes, our top, music singers and whatever, we're paying back into our education system, you might be like, actually, you know what? It is of value. Yeah. And it is worth appreciating. And these guys do work hard.
Yeah. And I think just that last point that you said, what came to mind was I forgot what he bought, Jay-Z. I forgot what he invested in. But it was something not public, but it was something. I don't know how to describe it, but it was something like almost every day. And what it did for the culture was open their eyes into seeing, actually, because he's done that, I wanna. Or the World Cup, or not, the Euros, where Ronaldo has the bottle of Coke and he pushes it to the side.
Wicked, I love it.
And he says, nah, I only do water.
Yeah.
And then the stock of Coke just goes down.
Yeah.
Because everyone goes, oh, you? Alright, cool. Then so will I.
Because people listen.
I do hear that.
People listen to, getting the top athletes. Even if it was a thing where, like, again, let's take footballers. It's an easy example. Sorry, footballers. You guys.
Getting it.
Sorry, guys. Even if it was a thing where, they would have some kind of way or some kind of program or award ceremony or something where footballers would shout out, their top teachers or something, big up their teachers and say, this was Mr. So-and-so, and, he was my French teacher. And okay, I was rubbish at French, but, he taught me how to be organized, and, he was always really polite, and just big them up. You don't even have to pay nothing, just big them up, big up the profession, big up, do you know what I mean? And then kids might be like, actually, Mr. Ricketts, you're right,
Yeah.
I don't really like French, but I saw 100%. Ronaldo bigging up his teacher, and it's made me consider that, the work that you do, I appreciate it.
And actually, I want us to do that. that's part of one of the thoughts I've had for this. If it can get the traction, and I don't want to do the cheesy pull of like, comment, subscribe, but if it gets the traction, I'd love to do interviews with the high ends.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Marks and two parts. One, what was your educational journey? Because I think it gives insight into, like you said in hours ago, uni isn't always the option. And so to see the actual roadmap for all of these people. Then the last one is, what impact do they make? Good and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, get both sides. But
yeah,
what teachers made a big impact on you?
Because I tell you what, I will say this with 100% confidence. Everybody remembers at least one teacher.
I was going to say that next.
Everybody
I have
does.
one in mind.
Yeah.
Mr. Bristow, if you're listening to this, you're a legend.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody. I remember my history teacher, Mr. Brooks. You know, I loved history. Like, I actually really enjoyed it. Again, I was an idiot. I made bad choices, and by the end, I was sat at the back being a clown. But upon reflection, and even at the time, I was just like, I really like Mr. Brooks. He was always enthusiastic. You know, he was patient. You know, and even in my teaching, I've tried to kind of embody some of that. Not to kind of emulate Mr. Brooks, but I think about who I am as a teacher, and I'm just like, rah, it's possible that some of what he was doing has trickled down, because people are always saying to me, oh, sir, you're actually really patient. Do you know what I mean? Or, I mean, Mr. Pont. So I teach French now. if you hear this by some chance, and you would have never thought it, you know. And again, I didn't think, oh, Mr. Pont's amazing, French is amazing at school. No, at school, I think I won't even say my grade, but you know, it wasn't great. But I remember him. Do you know what I'm saying? And there are other teachers, you know, from primary school, and you know, other teachers at secondary school. Everybody remembers at least one teacher, for good or bad. But you remember them. Let it be for good, hopefully. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea. If you know, God willing, this does take off, and we can get some big time celebrities on here, and yeah, because I think that's a small way. In fact, if there are any big industry people out there listening, or even government figures listening, that's a small thing we can start to do to make education more appealing in this country, and to hopefully encourage people to start to see the need, because that's what's missing. That's one of the key components that is missing. A lot of young people, and I was the same when I was at school, don't see the need.
The need is gone.
The need's gone.
And again, we've spoke about so many different solutions that all work. I think voluntary education works. I think paying works.
Contributions from whether monetary or otherwise.
Skin in the game.
There's so many things, and you know, some of these things you could start tomorrow.
Literally.
Football is shouting out their teachers. You can start that tomorrow. It costs nothing.
Yeah. But the impact
would be huge. It costs nothing. Just be like, yeah, okay, you know. Yeah, make it, I don't know, even look at all the adverts on Google. Do you know what I mean? Just make an advert, and like, you just take all the top footballers from the men's league, from the women's league, and yeah, teacher appreciation. There you go. Teacher appreciation. Don't make it a day, because everyone forgets the days. You know what I mean? Like, teacher appreciation, full stop. And it's just a little advert. Yeah, I remember Mr. Boom Boom Boom, because he taught me how to this. You know what I mean? Big up your teacher. It's a little thing, and you know, like, that can start to change the culture.
Of course, I can imagine that being big in school.
Huge. Who would I talk to? How can I get this thing off the ground?
Yeah,
for real. For real.
I'm excited about that, actually. That'd be really good. Get some big names. I can just see kids coming to school saying, "Sir, I heard it's Teacher Appreciation Day." I love you, man.
Yeah, but do you know what? I mean, I think it's something worth looking into.
I think it should. I mean, if this goes out, people will hear it, so we might as well, because otherwise someone else will take
someone else is going to do it.
So we might as well at least venture out and stake the claim.
Yeah, no, for real.